What's good, everybody, and welcome back to the channel for opening day of Season 3 with our Oakland Athletics franchise. Our first series will be against the Miami Marlins, and we are at home for opening day for the third consecutive year. And despite some lack of success, you could say, through the first two seasons, opening day has always been exciting here at home, so hoping to continue that trend here today with honestly what is our most exciting team, I think, by far. Some of the guys that we've drafted or started as prospects have made it to the bigs. We've got, I think, a very promising mix of players that we've traded for as well as signed in free agency. And here's a look at the projections for the top hitters and WAR for the year. Taking a look here at the lineup, let's just go player by player. Starting with Bobby Witt, of course, the big time acquisition ahead of the deadline last season. Came in, was only hitting about 220 for the year. Ended up improving that quite a bit. Hopefully he can continue that upward trajectory. And then Gleyber Torres, maybe doesn't deserve hitting second versus righties. His righty stats aren't incredible, but we did promise him the star role when he signed here, so I want to keep him at the top of the order so that we can keep that promise. Ian Happ, probably our best player last year, just shy of an 800 OPS, hit 273 at a 4.4 WAR. That's actually what he's projected to repeat here this year. I wonder if that's a coincidence or if they just take last year's WAR to project this year's. I honestly don't know. Franmil Reyes, he saw that he was projected to lead us in a lot of the hitting stats, RBIs, home runs, and that's kind of what we brought him in for. He's our DH. Thought he was going to be left fielder, but that will be Boyce McDermott after a very impressive spring training. It was very impressive in rookie ball. In the offseason, he makes the opening day roster. Seth Brown will be playing against righties only. He's back for another year with Oakland, one of the few that remain from season 1. How much longer will he be with us? I really don't know, but I would love for him to have a breakout year this year. Tyler Soderstrom, the other big-time prospect, added to our lineup. He will be playing versus right-handed pitchers, and then Shea Langeliers will be playing versus lefty at the catcher position. Lawrence Butler won our 2024 Surprise Player of the Year. Really more of a 2-year award since we didn't do it the first year. And I honestly think that his decline in year 2 was due to the fact that he, because of his potential, had to decrease, but he's still been a positive WAR player. Hopefully now that his potential is actually higher than his overall, we can see those ratings start to increase once again. Ramon Laureano back with the squad once again. Another one of these very long tenured Oakland Athletics. Was better last year than the year before, but still would like to see better hitting. But his strength is his arm out in right field. I think maybe it's a little bit top heavy, but I do like our lineup, especially compared to previous years. In the pitching rotation, we kind of got the top 2 players here leading the way. Trevor Rogers, I would like to see him get that ERA under 4 this year, maybe a whip under 1.3. Start to see the player that we traded for back in season 1. We traded for him, took a risk that he could eventually be an ace level pitcher. Hasn't been that yet, but I do have faith. Jack Flaherty was free agency signing in off-season 1. Pretty good year last year, whip at 1.31. You'd like maybe that to be a little bit lower, but ERA under 3. Hopefully he can continue that here in season 3. And then German Marquez hasn't been particularly exceptional in this series. Hopefully, a change of scenery from Coors Field can help him develop into his potential. James Kaprielian, what can I say about him? He was brought back because of the pitchers that I wanted. Didn't want to come to us. And then JT Ginn, perhaps the biggest surprise to make the opening day roster, will be pitching at the 5 spot for us. He's just been really good in the first 2 years in the minor leagues and was good in spring training, so decided to give him the call up here. Brett Martin, one of our better relievers, coming off a 3.16 ERA, 0.97 WHIP season. Drew Pomeranz signed him in free agency. After a good year last year, Zach Little here was a Rule 5 pickup. So hopefully he can do well, as was Luis Oviedo. Tried to put these guys a little bit into a spot where they won't be asked to do too much this year, maybe just develop a little bit, and then next year when we're not forced to have them on the big league roster, unless, you know, they perform well, then we can put them down to AAA. But Zach Jackson here will be our closer with Domingo Acevedo as the setup man. I just feel like putting Zach Jackson the closer might be a risk, but he's our best strikeout pitcher. Then Domingo Acevedo gets set up because he has been the best. Let's not actually hop into opening day, where Trevor Rogers will start this season with a strikeout against Gene Segura high in the zone. That brings up Daryl Hernaiz, and we're getting some guys chasing here on these strikeout pitches. 2 straight strikeouts is exactly how you want our hopefully future ace to start the year. This time he gets rocked, but Boyce McDermott able to make the play out in left field, excuse me. So nice to see his first bit of action as an Oakland Athletic, and on the first pitch of the season, Bobby Witt being aggressive, turns on that one and gets himself a double immediately. So pitching starts well, hitting starts well as well. That's a bit too many wills for one sentence for me, but nice start for us. Gleyber Torres on the 3-2 pitch lifts this one deep to center, but not quite deep enough to be caught. But Bobby Witt with his 99 speed will tag easily. I'm not even going to try to throw the third. They were worried Bobby Witt might try to tag 2 bases on that one. Ian Happ hits this one into the left center field gap, easily bringing across Bobby Witt and getting himself a double. The first run is scored here, bottom of the first. With 1 out, the bats are loud to start this one. All 3 batters have gotten good contact. 2 of them have been able to get down 4 hits. And I just can't really imagine a better start. Maybe, you know, everyone getting a hit. Yes, that's technically better, but, you know, Sandy Alcantara is a very good pitcher, of course, in real life. The reigning Cy Young Award winner, was also good last year. The sub 1-2 whip. But Boyce McDermott able to get, maybe, you know, not the most impressive hit, just kind of a floater out there to short center field, but that will be his first hit and RBI. Gotta have someone go grab that ball for him. Brings up Seth Brown. He lifts this one into center field, but that should be easily tracked down and caught by Jazz Chisholm, and it will be, that'll end the first, but 2 runs scored, bottom of the first. I will certainly take that. Trevor Rogers back up, and Jazz Chisholm gets a hold of this one to left field. McDermott tracks it down. Will be no play at second. An easy double for Chisholm to lead off the second inning for Miami. And this is a guy that typically doesn't hit lefties quite as good as he does righties, but hey, give him credit where it is due. And then what a pitch there by Trevor Rogers. Catching the edge of the zone for another strikeout. Already 3 on the day for him. But Avisail Garcia once again hits it into left field successfully. Tried to get the throw there this time. Boyce McDermott doesn't have the best arm, but now Miami is on the board. Bringing up Jorge Soler, who will get a wild pitch that will advance a runner on to third. So now any kind of fly ball should bring in a run or a grounder like that. So needed a strikeout there, couldn't quite get it. So Miami with a second run, but Bobby Witt leaping in the air and making the play across the diamond will end the second. So through, 3 innings, both teams have put up a 2-run inning so far. Can our offense come out and continue to build on the momentum they established in the first, though? Tyler Soderstrom's first at-bats. We'll get some good good contact on it, but should have been out there instead. We've got a Gene Segura error over at third base. So he'll get on base, won't get credited with a hit or anything, but he's over there on first, bringing up Lawrence Butler. One of my favorite people to hit with in this franchise, if not, honestly, to this point, my favorite. Maybe it's just the fact that he's a lefty hitter, and maybe I just hit lefties better, but he always seems to have good games whenever we hop in. Ramon Laureano, deep to left field, but should be caught, and it will be. Tyler Soderstrom will tag up to third safely. Send out any kind of fly ball here from Bobby Witt. Should bring home a run, but what a pitch by Sandy Alcantara. That curveball hitting the bottom corner of the zone, and then Gleyber Torres caught chasing a high fastball there, and Sandy Alcantara able to get out of the inning without allowing a run. Trevor Rogers on the other side picks up his fourth strikeout of opening day and make that 5. Gene Segura was just a little bit early on that pitch, I'd say. Daryl Hernaiz swings at the fastball inside, and after not the best second inning, strikes out the side in the third. The score will remain 2-2, and Trevor Rogers is really stacking up these strikeouts early. Chopper up the middle for Ian Happ. Will get him on base for the second time today. It's talking about the best hitters in the franchise so far. I think Ian Happ's always good, probably because he's a switch hitter. Does get caught stealing here, so that's unfortunate. And then Lawrence Butler, probably my favorite people to hit with so far. Franmil Reyes up there. Goes 0 for 2 with a strikeout on a pretty ugly swing there on the slider, but Boyce McDermott lifts this one deep to center field. Chisholm can't quite get to it. An easy stand-up double for Boyce McDermott. He is now 2 for 2 in his MLB debut. We knew he could come in and be an MLB level hitter, but he has been even more impressive than I would have thought through, spring training and here the first game. Dude is raking. Seth Brown there, the sinker just clips low and outside. Easily could have been called the ball there, but with superstar pitchers like Sandy Alcantara, they get those calls. Trevor Rogers, haven't even mentioned that this is really his revenge game. The first time we've seen him play against the Marlins since we traded for him in Season 1. Of course, we've played the Marlins. We've just simulated games prior to this one, but never mind that. This one's hit well by Avasail Garcia, but Boyce McDermott tracks it down. And that will be the inning. No runs scored by Miami. Tyler Soderstrom back up for his second time. This one's a chopper up the middle. Well played there at shortstop, but just not enough. Soderstrom will be credited with his first major league hit here on opening day as well, so neither of our young prospects will go hitless. I think Seth Brown is going to be a G and go pick up the ball for his boy. And that should be a keeper. Lawrence Butler 1 for 1 on the day. Can he advance a man here? This one will get through the infield. And that'll be a man on first and second. No outs. These are the innings that we struggled last year to finish. Got to be better this time. But Ramon Laureano caught looking. I've been caught looking at some strikeouts here in this game. Just a lot of great pitches by Sandy painting the corners of the zone. Just got to be more aggressive with it. Bobby Witt will get this one to drop. But because it wasn't, an obvious no catch, couldn't really advance people fast enough, so no runs will score there. But we'll get a run scored in via a walk. Not something that you'd expect from Sandy Alcantara there, but got himself in a jam here. That's a low strikeout swing for Ian Happ. Got sick of watching some strikeouts, so Probably got a little bit over aggressive there. Franmil Reyes lets this one into foul territory, but it will be tracked down. And that will end the fourth. Only able to bring across one run there. I don't know what Jorge Soler was waiting for there. It was a very hittable pitch. Wasn't exactly where I wanted it. So, it's a strikeout there. And then Seth Brown ends the inning. Marlins go down quietly in the fifth. Boyce McDermott gets this one into short right field, and it will drop. So, a couple of his hits aren't like the prettiest or most powerful, but he is 3 for 3 on the day. And then Soderstrom up a little bit later in the inning. Thought he had a hit there that could have brought home Boyce McDermott, but a diving play by Luis Arias saves what could have been a run. And then Lawrence Butler lifts this one deep to left field, but didn't quite get enough of it. So Boyce will not be brought home. The score will remain 3-2 here for Daryl Hernaiz. It's a lot of good contact on it, but Boyce McDermott able to track it down. Doing a lot of work out in left field today. I guess that's to be expected when a lefty pitcher is on the mound. Arias will be struck out with a beautiful pitch at the top of the zone. And we'll be back up to the top of the order here in bottom of the sixth. But first we got Ramon Laureano. And Gene Segura again can't get a good play over at third base. That's his second error of opening day. Not the defensive start that he would have hoped for, of course. Errors are never fun. But we get a man on base. Going for the steal here. Bobby Witt almost gets beamed by that throw. Avoids it. Ramon Laureano gets up to second base. No double play in play. I guess it's still possible, but a lot more difficult. Witt lifts this one deep center field, but not quite deep enough. Laureano will tag. And then the throw from Jazz Chisholm was not accurate. So we're a fly ball away from bringing in a run. Can Ian Happ deliver? I tend to be a little bit aggressive on the first pitch with Ian Happ. Obviously, I was too aggressive that time, but he has the quirk where he hits better on first pitches of an at-bat. So I felt like if it's hittable, I usually hit with him. That was just a little bit too aggressive by me. Finally, we're able to actually retire Jazz Chisholm on a pitch as we bring in Brett Martin here in the seventh. And that's a nice strikeout top of the zone. It was really good for us last year. Wanted to get a taste of pitching with him, and I felt like it was pretty fun. But 3 runs on 10 hits. We need to be better at bringing across the runners on base. We just haven't been good at it. Franmil Reyes, strikes out top of the zone. And then Boyce McDermott will reach via walk. So he has reached base all 4 plate appearances in today's game, bringing up Seth Brown, one of the best power hitters on our team, and he will show it here. No doubt home run to right field. Luke Jackson left a little something nice over the plate, and Seth Brown brings it home. The first home run of the season, a 2-run shot. And this is a player that I'd really like to see push that 30 home run mark. I think he has the power to do it at 84 power versus righties. And so I'd like to see him get a start on those home runs here early on opening day. Tyler Soderstrom caught looking at another strikeout. How many times am I going to strike out looking in opening day? I don't know. I guess I'm just super impressed with these pitchers or something. I need to do a better job at protecting the at-bats, but Lawrence Butler there, very aggressive double there, works out for him. Definitely thought that was going to be somebody that was going to be caught out, but I don't mind the aggressive nature with 2 outs. And then Laureano gets a shot up the middle and will bring him home. So Lawrence Butler being aggressive ends up tacking on another run. Now we got a 4-run lead here, and Bobby Witt gets beaned. Don't bean my leadoff hitter. Goodness, learn how to pitch. Faber Torres grounds this one over to short, and he will be thrown out, ending the 7th. So I had a tough time leaving people on base all game long. He still did that there in the seventh, but actually did better. And we're able to get across some runs. Brought in Domingo Acevedo in the eighth to be our setup man, and Jorge Soler rocks him instantly. So not the start to the season that Domingo Acevedo wanted, but that was a pretty bad miss by him. Gets a strikeout there, top of the zone on Nick Fortes, though, to get 2 outs here, top of the eighth. But now the order for Miami is flipped over. Got a lot more dangerous hitters coming up to the plate. Walk the first guy, and then Hernandez gets a hold of this one. Now they've got runners on first and second.
0-1, no strike.
Bringing up Luis Arraez, who, now that we're, using a righty pitcher, Arraez hitting versus righties is quite impressive. And he brings home another run. Our lead is trimmed to 2. Brought in Zach Little. Should have brought in a lefty because Jazz Chisholm absolutely rocks righties. And he will bring in a home run. And just like that, Miami takes the lead. I was feeling good. We got a 4-run lead. And Miami scores 5 here. Top of the eighth. Kept a little in though, and he will get a strikeout there, bottom of the zone on Anthony Rizzo. Now the pressure's on us to actually come in through and make some stuff happen. But a perfect going right to the second baseman is not at all what I want to see. Come on. I feel like perfect should never do that. Franmil Reyes up to the plate. 0-1 pitch. He rockets this one into left field. That one's a no-doubt home run for Oakland, which will tie this game back up at 7 here in the 8th inning. Not been a good start for Franmil Reyes up to that point, but then a 451-foot home run. This is why he is projected to lead us in a lot of the power statistics. He is an absolute power monster, and that's why we signed him for 3 years in free agency, hoping that he could provide that power for us. Boyce McDermott up to the plate. This time strikes out. So for the first time in his young MLB career, Boyce McDermott will not reach base. Seth Brown up next. He gets beaned right in the buns. He gets to go to first base. Tyler Soderstrom, can he keep the inning alive? Bottom of the 8th. Gets good contact on it, but Jazz Chisholm able to track it down. Ending the 8th, tied at 7. Franmil Reyes doing us some good there. Zach Jackson brought in, bottom of the 9th. He gets one quick out with Abasail Garcia. Next up, Jorge Soler rocked us there in the 8th. Yeah, it was top of the 8th. I know what I'm talking about. And then a strikeout there on Jacob Berry will retire the Marlins quietly. We have a chance to walk it off here in the 9th. Can we do it, though? Lawrence Speller first up. He's been excellent today, but this one will be jammed and handled easily over at shortstop. 1 out, down, and then Laureano. I was trying to check that swing, if I'm being 100% honest with you, and checking your swing is difficult in this game. That one I was not trying to check. I was trying to go yard solo shot with that, just missed it. Zach Jackson will remain in the game, top of the 10th. Wanted to see if we could get a second inning out of him, because his first was so efficient. Able to get that first out easily, and then a nice throw from Lawrence Bullard will hold the runner. And then this one just gets past the glove of Ian Happ. Boyce McDermott able to get the throw just in time enough to not bring home the run. Surprised they didn't test his arm. It's not very good. Ian Happ will corral that for the 3rd out, but the Marlins bring across a run. As we're looking at somebody with buns. I have no idea who those are. Probably Boyce McDermott's. But first man gets on base, and then Ian Happ crushes one into the left field. It's deep, back, and just short of being a home run, but it will bring across Bobby Witt, he's going home. The throw is there, but Bobby Witt is there first. And so, guaranteed not to lose here in the 10th inning, but can we get another run across? Still no outs here. I think we've got a good shot at it, and we were so close to coming out of this game with a walk-off home run, excuse me. But we get a strikeout there, and then a double play. So, man, you'd like, with the runners on first and second, to end that inning with another run across the board. Couldn't do it there. Ken Waldachuk comes for us in the 11th. Wanted to get some lefties in there, particularly to face our boy Jazz Chisholm, who's already rocked us earlier in this game. Brings up Avisail Garcia. He will be thrown out by Ian Happ. Has done a nice job here at third base, position that we asked him to change to for this year. It was one of his secondaries. Seth Brown up to the plate, has a chance to, bring across a run, and I don't know why that was an out. Can somebody tell me? Is there's some rule against bunting that if you bunt a ball foul, then you're out or something? Was there a reason that just wasn't a foul ball? And I just don't know. But long story short, I had a chance to close it out in the 11th, didn't do it. Jorge Soler gets a hold of this one. That one's deep to left field and gone. His second time rocking us in this game. Oh boy, just absolutely crushes that one. Maybe should have brought in a righty. Would probably have been the move. I think this episode was a lesson in being better at situational pitching. I think we could have avoided the 8th inning had I brought in a lefty earlier to go against Arias and Chisholm. And then I think bringing in a righty against Jorge Soler could have avoided that 2-run shot there, because all those players are very one-side heavy. Ariano will bring forward Lawrence Butler, but he is caught stealing on the tag up. I don't even know if it's considered caught stealing, but Bobby Witt goes down swinging, and the Marlins will win this game in 12 innings again. Like I said, I think for me it was a big lesson in being better with my situational pitching in the bullpen. We should have won this game. If I was just smarter, we would have. I do believe that. So I'll take that L on me. I think it was my fault. So for the first time in the series, we're actually not victorious on opening day, with a pretty great rally by the Marlins. A 1-0 victory with Flaherty going 10 strikeouts and 8 innings of shutout baseball. Did allow 2 hits, so it wasn't like an 8-inning no-hitter or anything. And then our 1 run was brought across by Sabata, one of our Rule 5 pickups to hit specifically lefties. And then the last thing I want to do in this episode is preview the draft a little bit. William Ma is the top ranked player. He's a 21-year-old, so he will not be generational. Looking at it, he's a righty hitter who's going to be really good at hitting lefties, but also not terrible at hitting righties. He's going to have good play skills. Building doesn't look to be bad, but he doesn't have much of an arm, so would be left field only. In terms of pitching, the best starter is Ka there, so a couple of Asian-born players there to start off the draft. I don't consider, closers and relievers to really be the top of the draft, but the fact that there are so many to start the draft is kind of concerning. I think you have to get to 8 to get to the second non-reliever / closer in this draft, but that's all I have for this opening day episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I will be back soon with another as we continue season 3, and I will see you then.